Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Thursday afternoon. It is time for our monthly segment, LNK Streets and Utility Beats, and excited to be joined today by the Communications and Public Affairs Manager, Erika Hill with LTU. Erika, thank you so much for taking the time to come down to the studio today and have a chat with us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about water conservation.
I would say last month, I should say, we were doing the streets part of this segment, and today we're kind of doing the utility part of this segment because this year is just sprinted by. It's already May now, and before we know it, we're going to be talking summer, and along with summer comes water conservation, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I think it's so great to really talk about water conservation. It's really the perfect time because people are getting outside now. They're starting to really think about maybe turning on those automatic sprinklers, and it's the perfect time to really just make sure that they're thinking about don't set and forget it or things along those lines.
And I can say my nephew and my niece have already had their pools up on their outdoor patio. So again, and Memorial Day is right around the corner, so the pools are going to be opening. But before we dive into that, I wanted to show, because it's Thursday, and here at 1011, Thursday's Drought Monitor Day, which again kind of goes into the water conservation. So I wanted to show everyone the latest drought monitor. And again, we still have some kind of persistent areas of abnormally dry, moderate drought, and severe drought conditions across parts of south central and southeastern Nebraska. This has improved since last week with all the rains that we have seen over the past couple weeks. But this is still, again, a little bit of an issue. And if you look at specifically Lancaster County, this is over the course of the last year. You know, going into the summer last year, it was pretty rough. We had some moderate to extreme drought here in the county and in the city. And so water conservation even more important, last year with the summer that we had. But we're off to at least a little bit of a good start in terms of our rainfall, which really just makes everything a lot easier when it comes to water conservation so far this season. We'd like it without the severe weather and all the tornadoes, but, in the spring in Nebraska, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. So jumping into the water conservation conversation, how does this, specifically sort of affect us during the summer months?
Right, so during the hot summer months, outdoor water use, so water use of your lawns, water use of lawns at businesses, it actually is about 2/3 of all the water use in Lincoln and within our community. So it really does make a big difference when people start, really thinking about how are they going to conserve their water.
That number just... it makes sense. People are watering their lawns, they're filling up water balloons, whatever, but that is just a huge number. Mm-hmm. So 2/3, and that's just outdoor water use. And so what does LTU recommend when it comes to, again, water conservation kind of moving into the summer months?
There's lots of different things that I think people can really think about when they really start thinking about their lawns and thinking about, I really want that green grass, but I also want to make sure that I contribute to the community as well and help with that water conservation. And one thing that we suggest is considering to water your lawns maybe 1 to 2 times per week, or just really water your lawn when your lawn needs it.
Mm-hmm. And water gets more expensive in the summer. So watering your lawn, your water bill every month, it's like, this is about $30 higher than I remember it being. But by just maybe skipping a couple of those, you can save yourself a lot of money.
Yes, we do have a really exciting stat that we've been able to figure out. So when it comes to using water at Lincoln Water System, the more water that a person uses, the higher that price can get. And so if you are using water and a lot of water, say you want to skip a single cycle of watering your lawn, that can actually save up to $15 for just that one cycle. So think if you were to skip one cycle per week in 1 month, you could potentially lessen your bill about $45 or save about $45 on that water bill. So it really does add up if you think about it.
And I mean, if we continue with kind of the weather pattern we've been, where we've gotten quite a bit of rain, you could skip even more than once a month, which is going to save you even more money. There are a lot of different ways to kind of, with technology advances and smart technology, there are a lot of different ways now. I have a smart sprinkler at home, and I think most sprinklers probably nowadays have some sort of water sensor where if it does rain, it's going to automatically do that for you as well.
Right. And I think those tools are so valuable, and I think they really help property owners really take that next step in thinking about how are they going to conserve water, but then also how are they going to just maintain their water bill as well and make those wise choices. But there's also other ways that you can do it. You can just think about, the don't set and forget. So right now, people are turning on those sprinklers, and we want to make sure that you're not just setting it for running at certain days of the week and then just forgetting it all throughout the summer. We want people to turn it on, but then monitor the weather, monitor the conditions. Only use that sprinkler system when your lawn really needs it. Or, take advantage of all that rain that has recently come down. We don't need to water right before a huge rainfall or right after. We can use that to our advantage.
And a lot of times, I'll drive through my neighborhood, and, you do not want to water your lawn during the peak heating of the day, which, in the summertime, any problem time between about 2 o'clock and about probably 5 o'clock, that's your peak heating of the day. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen sprinklers on during that time of day, and it's just a waste because it's really not doing near as much as it could if you're watering at the proper times of day.
Right. At 3 p.m., so much of that water is immediately being evaporated by all the heat that we're feeling here in our hot Nebraska summers. But if you were to choose the perfect time to water your lawn, doing it in the early morning hours or in the late evening hours when the wind is low and when it's the coolest out of all throughout the day, those are the best times to get the most out of that watering cycle.
And I should say, I also do see plenty of my neighbors in my neighborhood watering during those times. So I don't want to call everyone out in my neighborhood, but there are some folks who water in the middle of the day, and I'm just like, you're just throwing away money. Mm-hmm. You were telling me, though, you have a good trick to kind of know whether you need to water your lawn or maybe you can wait.
Yeah. So say you may not have an automatic sprinkler system or, moisture tools to be able to see what the moisture is in your lawn. You really just have your old-fashioned finger.
Got 10 of them.
You got 10 of them.
You should.
Yeah, and just like in your pots and your plants inside your house, you just stick your finger down in the lawn, in the soil in your lawn, and pull it out. And if there's, mud and things that come out, then there's still moisture in that soil. So you don't need to water your lawn that day. If you pull your finger out and it's really dry and it's so dry you can't even get your finger, in that lawn. Yeah, then maybe consider doing, one cycle and then waiting, maybe hope for rain, and then, go forth.
And then for the people who have a green thumb, like my wife, who are, I think we're safe now. We're done with snow. We're done with freezes, probably. More than likely. Who are itching to get some plants in the ground. Drought-resistant plants, things using mulch instead of rocks, things like that are great ways to go.
Yes, absolutely. So if you can use mulch instead of rocks that surround, your trees or your shrubs, things like that, the rocks, they heat up so hot. They have a lot of heat that is captured, and then having that heat next to your plants, it just kind of dries them out. But if you have the mulch will retain that moisture a lot longer than those rocks do. So that is a great option. And then, of course, everyone, we love drought-resistant plants. This is Nebraska, so being able to plant those and think of our butterflies and bees and
the
giving back to them.
Yeah.
That's always nice too. So just some of those are great tips. And again, just the wind, don't water when it's windy and things like that. And we'll get through it all together. It'll be great. You'll still have a great, beautiful lawn.
And I think thinking back to last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did have some water restrictions that were put in place last year. And so again, this is all an effort so we don't have to do things like that. And again, we're off to a good start so far this year in terms of our rainfall. So again, hopefully Mother Nature will take care of it for us and again continue to kind of get us out of those drought conditions. Erika, where can we kind of find some more of this information again for people at home?
Yeah, if everyone could go to lincoln.ne.gov/waterwise LNK. That is a really great website that we have worked so hard on. And we have tons of different types of tips on there. We have a variety of information regarding water conservation in general. And then we just have educational information. So all sorts of good things on that website, and we're happy to share and answer questions as well.
100%. So again, that's the website that you're currently seeing right now on your screen. There is a link to this website again in the YouTube description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on 1011's platforms right now, we'll include a link to this website in our web story for this segment as well, so you can find that information. We covered a lot. Erika, is there anything else that you want to make sure we kind of slip in before we let everyone go today?
I just want everyone to really enjoy their summers, and we are watching the weather. We're excited to see rain in the forecast, and we love hearing the community really taking steps to do their part in being water wise. So we really appreciate that.
Yep, and everyone kind of all together, hopefully all pulling in the same direction, again, can make a big difference. So, Erika, thank you so much for jumping in and joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, again, thanks everyone for tuning in, for watching, again, monthly segment, again, with Lincoln Transportation and Utility. We always like to find out what's going on over there. You guys are always really busy. So thanks everyone for tuning in, for watching.